Hey y'all, hey, we are back for another review of All the Queen's Men. We are on season 2, episode 20, and it is the season finale. So let's jump right into it. It is entitled Never Get Too Comfortable. All right. Babyface is calling around and he's talking to Doc and tells Doc that he's seen Fuego coming in talking to Detective Davis. So now they got to figure out how to get that information to Madam, because that could prove to be a problem for everybody. Detective Davis is talking to Fuego, and he tells her that he came home last night to a body in his bed, about the two men that forced his hand on the trigger. He claims that he woke up and the body was gone. She asked if he was on drugs, and he was like, no, I might have had a couple drinks, but I'm not. Because the story appears far-fetched to her, which is what Doc told him. Like, listen, this story, nobody's going to believe it. It just sounds like you made it up. And so she goes up to look up Miss Sandra Jimenez, and she's going to be back to determine, the validity of his story. All right, I'm going to hold my thoughts on this to a little bit later on. Doc goes to Madam and tells her about Fuego, and she's immediately ready to go ahead and get him up out of him. He wants to go talk to Fuego first. He's a good kid, and he wants to give him a chance. She gives him 2 hours to get to him and say where he needs to stay, and then she's going to take care of it. Now she's got to tell Blue about Fuego, and not Fuego. Blue reminds her, like, listen, Madam, you got a couple bodies on you. Like, the block is hot right now, and maybe we should chill. And she lets her know, like, bodies are a casualty. They're casualty of war and how this business goes. So it's just what has to happen, essentially. And now she needs to get Casanova to her office, because she needs to go ahead and get that plan going as well. Because I guess while she gave Doc the opportunity to talk to him, she really didn't. It was just enough to get him out of her face, because she's about to enact her plan utilizing Casanova. All right. Blue checks him to see if he's wearing a wire in front of Dee and Trouble and some other dude, and sends him to Madam. And Madam asks him, what's the procedure when someone's getting arrested? And so he's sitting there acting dumb like he don't know what the hell she's talking about. And she asks him again, like, what's the procedure? I'm not interested in asking you too many more times. Just, you don't really know much about me, but what I will tell you is I'm not going to keep asking you over and over again. So she calls him out. She tells him, I know you're a cop. The jig is up. Your little encryption thing, it didn't keep me out. So, yeah, Blue and Tommy really kind of want to just end him right then and there. She was like, no, I got plans for him. She shows Casanova pictures of him when he was drugged. So not only did the girl take photos of him in compromising positions, but he was also... Ooh, let me find a PG way to say this. He was also, I don't know. He was also backdoored. Okay? He was also backdoored while he was unconscious with what appears to be a couple men from the club. So she's got pictures of that. And so that's definitely going to compromise his investigation if they get out. She knows that. She knows a little bit about the law. And she tells him, be lucky you're alive. And the only reason you are still alive is because I need something from you. She also goes on to threaten his wife and tells him, like, listen, go to your little job. See what Fuego has said to Detective Davis. Give me that information. Make sure he ends up in the cell with Babyface, and you report back to me. So now he is on the doggone payroll because his cover is clearly blown. Good job. Good job, Mr. Casanova, undercover guy. You blew your one job. You had one job, and you blew it. So good job. Now he has to do, what's said, or these pictures are going to be leaked, or his wife's going to be harmed. And so now another forced loyalty that Madam has solidified. All right. Blue asked if he has heard from if she had heard from Concierge. Nope. And so they know he's up to something. They're not really sure. And so everybody's on high alert. They're ready for whatever the attack is. Doc comes in, and Madam tells him, hey, you need to go to the precinct and you need to punch a cop. And he's immediately, okay, all right, gotta go. And Blue's like, calm down, like, await further instruction. I know you down for it, but you don't even know what it's for, what it's about. He's like, it doesn't matter. As long as Madam asks me to do it, it's done. Okay. All right, whatever you need. And she tells him, I need you to get arrested Fuego is down there, and it seems like he's talking. So I need Fuego in the cell with you and Babyface, and I need y'all to take care of him. So basically, that's it for Mr. Fuego. Once you get put in that cell with them two, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, and it's all because you couldn't stomach sitting still and just letting the shit blow over. Which, I mean, I don't blame you. If you can't do it, you just can't do it. But I mean, there's a price to pay for everything, even good deeds. So that's where we're at with it. Jenna calls Blue, and she is upset about something. She thinks that her husband is tracking her on her phone. Every time she cuts it off, it turns back on. She thinks that he actually may even be outside of the apartment. Now Blue has got to go play Captain Save-A-Hole and get herself in a situation with yet another woman. Amp. Oh, Mr. Amp. Amp is so high and drunk and set out on being pissed at Dime and Madam. And I'm not going to say you don't have a right to be upset. I just say you should have never got yourself back tied into this club if you were going to hold on to it. Because Madam don't spare too many lives. You were lucky off the strength of being her nephew. Just cut your losses and just go on about your life, but you just couldn't leave well enough alone. So we know he's been wilding, most of the episode, getting drunk, taking girls back, to the bathroom in the back, whatever. Same concept here. He takes a girl back to the dressing room. They're doing what grown folks do, and he is going a little too hard. So hard that her head hit, her head jams back into the metal tower rack holder, and it pierces her skull, and she is now DOA. She dead as hell. So now he has killed his second woman because of his inability to control his emotions. This is where we're at. Now he's just having a major breakdown, and this is one more thing that Madam may or may not have to cover up, and he's afraid he's going to end up in jail. I mean, all very, very, very valid thing to be afraid of, but this is now what we have to deal with Mr. Amp and his drunken escapades, or whatever you want to call them. Either way, it's a situation, and it's enough situations going on in this episode that we didn't need one more, but of course we do. All right. Casanova rolls up on Davis at the precinct, and she's looking like, why didn't they let you at the club? Like, this is suspicious. It was suspicious enough for her to, notice that he was there when he should be there working, but not suspicious enough for her to not give him all the information she asked for. So she's bragging about having Fuego inside singing like a bird, something about killing his ex, but he's not tying it to the club. He ain't really giving her much information. He's just repeating the robbery scene, that he said thus far. And he basically does exactly as he told. He implements the situation. Hey, put him in the cell with Babyface, and maybe he'll talk. They're friends, and I heard Madam say he's the weak link, whatever, blah blah blah. All right, cool. So he's giving her marching orders, and we're gonna go from there. But in this scene, I kind of realized what Fuego, if I'm not mistaken, what he's trying to do, but he's failed at doing. What I feel like is he's so guilt-ridden about what happened to Sandra that he wants to go snitch on himself. He wants to go tell what he did, but he doesn't want to tie it to Madam, because if he could very well have said, oh, when Madam came in and cleaned it up, da 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 da, but all he said was he woke up and that the body was gone. Didn't say who, he just said it was gone. No, he didn't. He could have implicated them, but he didn't. So what I think is he's so guilt-ridden, he would rather go to prison for being believed to kill Sandra, or being perceived to kill Sandra, than to tie it to Madam. That way he could absolve his conscience and still be able to get away from Madam. That's my take. That's my take, because like I say, he very well could have implicated her. He was there to tell everything. There was no point in absolving Madam in any way. So I think I think it's more about him than it's about Madam, if that makes sense. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens next season. Hopefully it don't be 5 years and I forget about the doggone show. But that's where we're at. Amp is dazed out, and he's just sitting there, staring at the body. Midnight walks in and sees the girl. Like I said, he's been high all night, and it was really just accident. It happened. Now he got to tell Madam about it, but he doesn't want to. And I think maybe he forgot for half a second who Madam is, because he was like, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. Well, that's the last thing that Madam's going to, do for you. If anything, she's going to cover that thing up quick for you, nephew, and, get it back going. But he's not thinking straight, honestly. Or he doesn't realize the full power and extent of who Madam is. But now Midnight has to go get Madam to potentially take care of it. So he tells Aunt, pull it together. Don't let nobody back here. And just hang tight. We're gonna figure this out. So Doc shows up to the precinct and does exactly as instructed. He walks up, punches the first cop he sees, and gets arrested. Fuego is pacing back and forth, unaware of his impending fate. Davis finds a missing persons report on Sandra, but there's nobody. So there's really no evidence. They went to his neighbors, asked his neighbors about it. Nobody heard anything, which was probably a payoff from Madam or a threat from Madam or whatever. None of his neighbors heard anything. No gunshots, no scuffles, no anything. So now, again, he's looking more and more guilty, or not being a credible witness. It is not adding up to Davis, but it's also coupled with what Casanova has implemented into her thought patterns. So she thinks that, so now she just thinks that he killed her now, and she's going to arrest him. Now he's getting arrested, and she's asking about the club, and he still says that he knows nothing. And so she's going to put him in the cell, I guess, to let him think about his actions, or to potentially charge him with the murder. What she's really going to do is put him in there to see if he talks to Babyface, to see if she can give him more information. However, there are two schemes running, because while she has a scheme, Madam has a scheme as well that's going to end Fuego, I'm sure. All right. Madam goes into her office, and Concierge is sitting in there. And she was a little, it kind of shook her off her block, really, because she was kind of caught aback. Her package is causing some trouble. Her little delivering in the mail is jeopardizing what he told her, something he's been working on for months. And so, she regains composure, because she doesn't realize, she asking like, how did you get in here? But it's Concierge, he has connections. He also reminds her 72 of his best people are mixed in with the crowd tonight, with all of her customers, a bunch of marksmen, a bunch of women, and you don't want a massacre on your hands. The block is hot enough. They are all armed. And she was like, not true, because how did they get through the metal detectors? Well, 3D printed guns won't go off in metal detectors. And that was alarming for me, because you are absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. And I just hope that this is not a theory that somebody tests in the real world, because that could prove to be problematic. It definitely could. The gun is 3D printed, but the bullets aren't, so might be a fallacy, might not work. Anyway, so now you need to come with me. You need to come with me and explain to Lotus's father exactly what happened, because you are jeopardizing everything that I have going on. It is not an invitation. It is a demand. Basically, we're headed on a trip to Colombia. My private jet is on the air strip, on the land strip, whatever, and I'm leaving in an hour. You need to meet me there, beat me there, whatever it is, but you need to be on this flight. And then she's still, putting up a fight, and I wanted to go. He threatens to kill every last guest that is in the club that night. And she really don't give a damn about no guests. She really don't care nothing about that, but she knows that this is something she needs to handle. As soon as he walks out, you can kind of see where she loses her cool a little bit. She's starting to lose her grip, because, yeah, she's made a really big mistake, and now it's something that she has to figure out how to rectify or pay with her life, or whatever the consequence is at this point. All right, so Babyface and Doc are in jail, and he gives him the plan in code. One flew over cuckoo's nest, blah, 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 blah. The plan is walking down the hallway, blah, blah, blah. Fuego claims that he didn't say anything about the club. He didn't implicate anything at all. But then, for the first time in 2 seasons, he has a moment of clarity and realizes, oh, y'all here to take care of me. Because he realized, like, both of y'all are in jail. What y'all doing here? Oh, y'all here for me, huh? And he tells them, just make it quick. And they let him know, your goose is cooked. So, Fuego, you're probably not going to make it past episode 1 of season 3. And we appreciate your services. We appreciate you participating. Unfortunately, you just another casualty at this point. And which is unfortunate because he didn't snitch on Madam at all. The thing is, I get you have the potential to snitch on, you have the capability. So now you're a liability and it's time for you to go. All right. Madam, once concierge leaves, she's on a mad dash to figure out why her people were lacking. Well, Blue ain't even there at all, and Tommy's over there covering the front because he's covering for Blue. So she slaps the entire fire out of Tommy, and it's a game to him. He is turned on, and she's like, listen, I don't have time for you. Concierge just caught me slipping, and so now she has to go shut down the club early because she needs to make this flight to, make right or whatever. Midnight is there, and he's trying to tell her, he's attempting to tell her what happened with Amp and them in the back room, and she don't have time to fix it. She tells him, listen, y'all fix it. I don't have time. I'll holler at y'all later. People are starting to move around, and Amp is on edge because, it's the back dressing room. People are going to come in, and he's not having it. And Midnight tells him, like, listen, Madam got something going on. We got to fix this ourselves. There's a dumpster in the back, and 5 a.m. in the morning, everything that's in that dumpster is gone. Madam will take care of it from there. I don't know, maybe they didn't put a couple people in that dumpster before, and the 5 a.m. crew is cleanup crew that's going to come, get rid of what needs to be gotten rid of, but this needs to happen. I got your back, and he's still out of it. He's like, Midnight, don't screw me over on this, and he's like, Midnight's like, listen, I got your back. Let's just do this. All right, cool. We got to handle the situation. It's what we have to do. Blue gets home, and she tells Jenna, get your stuff. You're coming back to the club with me. And she smashes the phone in the meantime, which is what Jenna should have did when the shit started cutting back on automatically, or tossed the shit out the window, or threw it to the apartment next door, or something. Anyway, then there's a knock at the door. And Jenna's husband is none other than Fernando. Fernando is Concierge's brother. Concierge is Lotus's husband. All right. Y'all see where I'm going? Fernando is the new hire at the club. He's Concierge's brother that's supposed to be working at Madam's place. I ain't never seen him show up for a day of work to this episode, but Fernando is Jenna's abusive husband. And she's been hiding out here, and he has been able to find her. That's bad because Blue is Madam's friend, so that even adds more fuel to the war, because Fernando and Blue are definitely going to get into it in this scene. Not much, but we'll get into it. So he's there to pick up Jenna, and Blue tells him, like, listen, ain't no Jenna here. Get away from my door. Go on about your business. So he walks away, and as soon as Blue closes the door, two gunmen kick the door in, and there's a shootout. Blue was able to shoot one or two of them, but one of them gets the upper hand, and they shoot her. They shoot her, and she falls out the window. And let me remind you, they're 3 stories up. So Blue may or may not have met her demise, which is, let's have a moment of silence for my dog, Blue. All right, long enough. Blue may or may not be out of it. That's a 3-story fall, so she may have met the same fate as Miss Patty. That's not funny, but it is. She done fell out the window trying to save this lady from her husband. And that's unfortunate, because that's really going to send Madam into a tailspin if Blue has met her maker at this point. So then, now Madam may have to kill Fernando. So now you potentially done killed this man's wife and brother. Like, it's definitely going to be war between you and Concierge. But we're going to see what the resolution is, if there even is one. All right, okay. So he grabs Jenna by the neck and still ushers her ass out. Go get in the car. Go get your ass in the car and let's go. All right. Dom is concerned because she's never seen Madam act like this before. And Madam tells her, listen, y'all clear this club out. I'll holler at y'all later. Don't worry about it. I got this. I got this. Midnight and Amp have the girl wrapped up in the blankets and the towels and the things, and they're about to take her ass to the dumpster. That's cool. Madam just cleared the club, so people are still moving around, getting their stuff, trying to get ready to go home. So this wasn't a great time to make the move. But this is where we're at. As they are scuffling her across the doggone room to get her out there to the dumpster, Dime walks in on them. And I'd be goddamn. They done got caught moving the thing out. Now, I know Diamond's probably not going to snitch him out because she didn't had enough talking for once in her life. Now, she has to help him, even though he's been this super douchebag to her this entire season. And that's just unfortunate for her. But I'm sure she's not going to dime out Madam's nephew. Like, you don't want that kind of smoke. So she's going to help them, finish this out, hopefully. Diamond's almost as feeble as Fuego when it comes to being a doggone crybaby. So I don't know, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe the fear associated with Madam might be enough for her to be like, all right, y'all, let me be the lookout. The coast's not clear, something to that effect. So that wrapped up season 2. Fuego, he's probably out of here. Babyface probably gonna get off. Doc, simple, you're gonna get off. Madam, she's probably gonna have to go answer to the cartel, and maybe she has to wash, double or triple the amount of money. Maybe she has the monetary price that she needs to pay to them or something. I doubt that they're going to kill her because we need a season 3. And with the way that Lotus throws on her power, her daddy might not even like her. It's possible. But there's going to be some kind of price to pay. I'm just not sure what that's going to be for Madam at this point. Tommy's still riding with your girl till the wheels fall off. Concierge is now going to be in the throes of a war. Detective Davis she's still going to be on her rampage, I'm sure. I'm just making the predictions for next season. And Blue, I think my dog Blue might be able to make it. 3 stories. I don't know. 3 stories is a lot. I'm thinking 3 stories is a lot. Or maybe she hanging off the ledge and somebody going to have to pull her back up. I don't know. All I know, she went out that damn window. And Blue might be black and blue. She might be out of here, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Pretty good season. It's been, the unique thing about this series is this kind of drama consistently, as opposed to like the forever build-ups that happen in a lot of this Tyler Perry production. So I enjoy it. I enjoyed the episode. But I am glad to not have to do three videos a doggone week, because these videos, they come out back to back and these shows come out back to back. So a little bit of a break is anticipated. Said all that to say that is season 2, episode 20. Let me know what y'all think about the season, the episode. What are your predictions for next season? Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.